YouTube. Today is a video just about my personal experiences being a scare actor from when I started in my first scare attraction and where I'm at currently. So at the beginning I worked at a little family run scare attraction called Castle Point Ghost Tours. Very little, it only had 3 mazes, but it was based in an old bus museum, so we utilised the buses to guide the route. 3 mazes that were in there were a hospital themed one, a clown one which I worked in, and a hillbilly one like the Hills of Ice. Obviously being in the clown maze, I loved it because I love playing clowns. We had a team leader, I absolutely idolised him. His clown character he had was so polished, and you know he thoroughly enjoyed playing that clown character, and he was it, like he lived as that character while playing it. So I totally idolised him, and I said to myself, I want to be that guy one day. I want to get to that point where sort of the lines between you and the character blur when you're playing it. So yeah, that's how I wanted to be. How I got it was a cousin of mine was working there and I didn't have nothing to do that Halloween, so he said give the guy an email and send him some pictures of your makeup, because I do SFX makeup on myself. I've been doing face painting for a while and I've just gradually built myself up. So I sent the guy an email, told him my cousin worked for him, and said like he recommended me. He emailed me back and said yeah, come down, why not? So I did. I practiced my makeup, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. That's how I've learnt all the SFX makeup that I do, just through YouTube. I've never been to college and I've just managed to pick it up quite well. First night I was a tad nervous, I'd never done anything like this before, but I seemed to get on well with everyone, so it made it a lot easier for me. I thoroughly enjoyed scaring people. I was put on a bus as like a living statue type thing, so people would come up and they'd be debating whether I was real or not, because I stayed that still, and it was real fun playing that. Like, it was funny when they get to the point of no return and you just wait that split second when they think they're safe and you jump up and scare them and they scream and it's really funny doing that to them. So the second year I worked there, it was zombie themed, which was a nice change for me. I don't mind playing zombies. I quite like my zombie films, like 28 Days Later. I like the more rage virus zombie rather than the slow. I'm quite more high octane zombie. The same bus that I was on the previous year, and that worked really well. And one person actually tripped and fell and thought I was actually going to get them really bad, that they started crying. I'm not going to lie, I did laugh to myself. When you do get that and you get that raw fear reaction as a scare actor, it's quite fulfilling. That's me personally, I like scaring people. In 2016, Castle Point Ghost Tours weren't running and I felt at a bit of a loss because I didn't know what I was going to do that Halloween, and I'm not really into the clubbing scene anymore. I'm very much a go big or go home kind of girl with my costumes and my character. Nothing is half measure with me, and the club scene is just not really for that, I don't think. Even though it's getting better, but it's just not where I wanted to be. A friend of mine linked me an advert for a scare attraction advertising for scare actors. So I thought, oh well, I'll give it a go, because it was only around the corner at Wat Tyler Park. I sent them an email with pictures of my makeup that I've done, so they can gauge what sort of stage I'm at, if they wanted me to do my own makeup or artists to do it, because some places like that, they prefer any of the artists to do it, but other places, if you can do it, they'll let you. It's one less person who needs to be made up. I waited and I got an email back and I was really happy. They invited me for an audition. The audition date ended up being on my birthday. I was nervous, I'd never done an audition before. Now what I know was management was talking to me, asking what I'd done before. I was just chatting about Castle Point Ghost Tours, and another guy there said, oh, I worked there last year. And I looked at him and I was like, oh my god, you're the guy that was the zombie police officer. So the fact there was someone else there that I kind of knew and worked with the previous year in a different attraction made me relax, which I think helped, because I was really nervous deep down inside, even though I tried to cover it as best I could. Everyone else in there, like the auditionees and the staff, were really friendly, and the audition process made me go outside my comfort zone a couple of times. I'd never done it before, so I never knew what to expect. We had to do this particular exercise where someone was sitting in a chair and we'd have to come up behind them and figure out different ways to scare them, to make them look at us. And I went up first. I have to admit, I was a little bit big-headed because I love playing a clown, and I pulled on my, as you can see, Tim Curry it. Best one. So yeah, I pulled on that and did my best sort of clown shtick, and he didn't look at me straight away, and instantly I was like, oh no, what do I do now? And that's the idea of what it was meant to do, is make you to think on your toes, because you're never going to get the same reaction from everybody. So you have to think, what can I do? As long as you entertain the people that's the best thing you can do. If you can't scare them, at least stay in character. Don't drop character and walk away in a huff because you've not scared them. Find someone else in the queue that you know is scared of you and just prey on them, and then everyone else's reaction will be laughing because their friend is scared. The next stage was a training day, which I didn't know what to expect on that. I'll admit I froze on one particular exercise, which was an improv bit. It was really bad and I felt really embarrassed and annoyed at myself for freezing, but I laughed through it and I done it, and I felt better for doing it. After the training day I was really praying and hoping that I would get a clown part and I would be in the maze festival. Luckily I did, so I was ecstatic. I was like, yes, something I love playing. They played to my strengths. That's what I did. I sort of shown what I could do as a clown, hoping that I would get picked as one, and I did. It worked for me. I was really nervous on the first night. I didn't know what to expect because this was a bigger scare attraction. Obviously more people coming through. My best memory in there, as bad as it sounds, was when a group of teenagers and a mother come through. I was in control of 2 rooms, sort of darting in and out of them. I ran in, screaming, doing my like best clown sort of screech type thing. And these group of 5 teenage girls just screamed and all fell on the floor. I was laughing to myself, the mother was laughing. I walked away, so I waited when I walked out of the room, and they took a while. I poked my head back in and one of the girls come through and said, "I'm really sorry, but when we fell over I wet myself on your floor." And I'm not gonna lie, I really felt happy with myself that I'd scared them that much, that she'd wet herself. As bad as that sounds, it's quite a feat to make someone wet themselves in fear. And I thought it was just be a little bit. I walked in there and yeah, you could tell. Overall, being my first year at the new attraction Cursed, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I made loads of friends. I said to myself, yeah, I'm happy doing this, and I've never looked back being a scare actor, really. I've always thoroughly enjoyed it. On 2017, I put myself forward as for team leader of Festival, and I didn't think I'd get it, being it was only my second year. I thought, why not? Give it a go. What's the worst they can say? No. I received an email offering me the team leader role for Festival. I was absolutely ecstatic and I was so happy. Like, if I hadn't have put myself forward, I'd have regretted it, and it's the best thing I did by pushing myself out of my comfort. The next stage was auditions/training days. Now, I didn't know what to expect. Being on the other side of it, it was an eye-opener, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really funny, you know, sort of trying to push them like I was pushed. Now, I've got a really fond memory of this, and my friend who I've made through Cursed, she'll probably kill me for saying this on camera, but I don't care. It's the most funniest thing and will stick with me for the rest of my life. I can't not laugh when thinking about it. So we have this exercise where you go around saying your spirit animal, and everyone's sort of saying the usual things like wolf, cats, dogs, monkeys. She's decided to turn round and say walrus, and looked at me and one other team leader all smug because we started laughing. Well, we know what's coming next, she doesn't. So the guy who is like the trainer of the new actors and the head of us team leaders turned around and said, right, now that animal that you've picked, you now have to act it out. And I've never seen someone's face drop so quickly, and she looked at us and we were just, our eyes were streaming with laughter. It was so funny. And totes to her, like, we thought, what is she gonna do? She's really put her foot in it, like trying to be funny. And yeah, when it came to her, she flopped to the floor and did her best walrus impression, and we were crying with laughter. And that is what we want to see. You can be funny and you're not afraid to throw yourself in the deep end and do something silly like that. Never be afraid to push yourself and be stupid and silly, because it shows you're willing to push yourself. It rolls around to the first night. I felt I've got a good team. I was really happy with who I got. To some extent we do get to sort of put forward who we'd like, but we're not guaranteed who we get. So overall really happy with who I got, and I couldn't have asked for a better team. Like Team Festi that year, my year of being a team leader, loved them. Overall, being only my second year at Cursed and being a team leader, I was really shocked how well I did and how well I managed to push myself and be the team leader that I could be, that I knew I could be. Moving on from Cursed, last year in 2017, And when it was all over, I had the really bad blues, because you spend so many days, I think it was 9 days we did last year, doing all that and going back to your normal job. I really had the blues, and I was like, I want to do more scare acting, not just in season, out of season. So when my friend Karen did the walrus impression, said to me they were looking for zombies for Walker Stalker Con up in London, I was like, yeah, I'm on that. And all day we were up at 3 AM getting makeup ready, going down on the train in makeup, people looking at us weirdly, but we did have our faces covered as best we could, not to scare anyone, because our aim wasn't to scare anyone. We were just travelling like normal people. So if you're going to an attraction and you're done in makeup, just out of courtesy for the other members of like on the public transport, just cover your face as best you can. People are going to stare anyway because it's natural instinct to look at something that's different. But yeah, as long as you try your best, they can't really say anything. We're in a maze. That was fun, working with different people, different aspects, different personalities. It's always a learning curve. You're never going to get on with everyone in a maze. People will annoy you. They will be showboaters. You just got to ignore them and do your job. Don't worry about them. Try not to get annoyed. I've made mistakes before where I've got annoyed and it's spoiled it for me, and then I've not been the best that I can be. Don't let other people affect you. Just make sure you do your job. Other than being in the maze, we did have breaks where we could walk around, and we had lots of photos taken with us. Which was brilliant. I loved it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when you're a scare actor, you do it because you like being in front of the camera as a character. I don't like being in front of a camera as myself, personally. I get camera shy, or I have to do some kind of gimmick to, you know, hide the fact that I am a little bit nervous. My highlight of that day was a little 5-year-old boy come running up to me and my friend in zombie makeup, not even phased. Grabbed my hands, did a high 10 and interlocked his fingers and started dancing with me, and I was a little bit worried, so I looked at the mother and she was fine. So I wasn't like full on zombie, I was sort of watered down because at the end of the day he was a child. He danced with me, and then the mum was like, oh, can I have a picture? So I bent down next to him, put my arm around him and had like a picture with him, and then afterwards he hugged me, and I have to admit, he melted my heart. I'm not really a child person, I'm a little bit awkward around children, but he melted my heart, and that was the highlight of my day. Like how this child was just not phased, and yet there's been fully grown men 6 foot tall, and then there's little old me like 5'3" running at them, and they're just screaming like at the top of their voice, scared of me. So it's very different how people are scared of you and those that aren't. And a 5-year-old child not even phased shocked me, in all honesty. I struggled to stay in character because I couldn't believe he wasn't phased. And then he proceeded to dance with my friend, just both walked away laughing to ourselves at this child not even bothered by us. The next event I did was called Dead Centre by Hide and Shriek. Loved it. Really enjoyed myself. Really made me feel comfortable considering I was a newbie. I was recommended by my friend Callum, and they said, yeah, we'll try her out, because they liked my makeup that I did, because obviously I sent over pictures of my makeup. Can't stress, if you can do makeup, just send them the pictures, because it just might put you that little bit further than someone else who, say, can't do their own makeup. You don't know. It's always worth a try to send pictures of your makeup if you can do it. So my friend did it as well. So having those two people there that I knew helped me relax a lot more. So it's like a shopping centre zombie run. So I chose to go more zombie rage virus, like 28 Days Later, which worked for me. I quite like the high octane screaming zombies, and I did thoroughly enjoy it. My costume was a dungarees, a white t-shirt and a high vis, like traditional, and tan boots, like a traditional builder. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I've made more friends, and this is one thing I've noticed about being in scare acting. I've made so many friends that have just like become family to me now. People that I wouldn't have met if I hadn't done it. So I owe a lot to scare acting. It's made me build more as a character, as a person, and it's made me better. So I owe a lot to scare acting. And the fact that I'm now, if I look back at my photos of my makeup that I used to do to where I'm at now, I've come a long way, and it's nice to see the progression. That's a little bit about me and my history of becoming a scare actor and where I'm at currently. Now I've got to look forward to this year's first, and I'm really looking forward to it. More than likely I'll be playing a clown. They just know that I love doing that. Clown in life, clown in the mazes. I hope this has been helpful to some of you, sharing my personal experiences, and maybe push some of you to go out there and try, because the worst thing they can say is no. don't cut your nose off to spite your face. Just go out and do it, and then if they say no, at least you can say, I tried. It's fun. The friends you make are like no other, and you become like a family, a scare family, and it's the best thing I've ever done. So yeah guys, just go out there and have fun and enjoy it. For now, I'm Toxic Clown, and I'll see you guys later.